Hi, I'm Jennifer Schlickbernd, the Game Pioneer. Today, I'm here to talk about Advanced Civilization, the game I was so fortunate to be a co-designer of. Before I get started, however, I do want to say a few things. One, I'm sorry it's been so long. Between my surgery and then recovering from the surgery, and then my partner had some medical issues, and now he's recovering from the medical issues. It's just and then going on a failed vacation, that wasn't fun either. It's just that my life's been busier than anticipated, but I am back. I have a whole lot of games I want to review. The other thing, speaking of reviewing, I will not be reviewing any games that have an uncredited artist or illustrator. I thoroughly and firmly believe that people's work should be paid for and not stolen. So I do want to make that 100% clear. Like, if any publishers might be watching or anything, please do not send me anything that has uncredited art, uncredited design. All components of the game have to be credited. Okay, so Advanced Civilization. Advanced Civilization was released in 1991. I remember that year because that's also the year that I had my son. So 32 years ago. Advanced Civilization was conceived of, as far as I know, as a way to make the base game Civilization more competitive. Even today, I can find people who really, like Mark Bigney, for example, is so very wrong. They definitely prefer the original Civilization. However, Avalon Hill, while appreciating Civilization, and it was a completely new style of games in historical gaming. Historical/war games, where combat mostly, and a lot of little chits, and a lot of things that weren't as inviting as Civilization, the board game. And in those days, the base game, along with this game, could take 8 to 12 hours. Our sessions usually ran about 10 hours with 6 people. Also, Civilization and Advanced Civilization are meant to be played with a minimum of 6 people. Hopefully 7. 2-player was unheard of, and solo, what? The place of solo? I mean, you can always I don't know though, I think the trading part just does not work as a solo game. It would be interesting though to see if someone's come up with a variant. Alrighty, so let me talk about Civilization and Advanced Civilization. So in front of you is the map. And the map contains many different ancient civilizations. All of those civilizations will not be in play with a standard civilization game. It's going to depend on the choices that the players make. For example, up here is Asia, and right next to it is Assyria. In a competitive game, both these countries probably won't be in the game, as it's very easy for Assyria to stop Asia from ever expanding, if that's what they're determined to do. So you're either going to have Asia or Assyria. So the game basically has, maybe 10 or 11 phases. At the start, your cities are going to be taxed. And then you're going to expand your population, assuming you can. And then you're going to take a census of how much population do you have. Then if you are, and I think, except for Babylonia, I believe all of the countries have access to the Mediterranean. This is important for growth and combat. Then, of course, you're going to move your ships and your people as you seek to spread out over the map. Then, of course, you kind of run into people who are in the way. So you're going to resolve combat. And then after that, depending on what you have left, you hope to construct cities, which will give you points and help you advance. Then, if you unfortunately couldn't construct the cities or it just didn't work out, you're going to have to remove surplus population. Then the trading session begins, and this is an example of a trading card. So you will take your goods and trade them with the other players, which sounds really cool, but there's just one small problem. Players can trade you calamities. That's one of the differences in advanced Civ than regular Civ. In regular Civ, particularly at tournaments, at least the local tournaments here, there was a tendency to not trade civs, and then, trade calamities, and then people would just discard them. You can't do that in advanced Civ. So there's more calamity activity, more interaction, and in my opinion, especially since calamities were my area of design, more ways to take down the leader other than just combat. And then after that, you were able to take your currency and get various Civ cards which would help your the growth and expansion of your civilization. Then finally, and I don't have it out, there's movement on the AST, which provides you points to win the game. That was one of the issues with the original base game, is that Egypt and Babylonia both had difficulty moving up the AST every round, and most of the other countries didn't have that, so it was felt that that was a handicap, and Avalon Hill wanted that addressed. The game is very, very interactive. This is not multiplayer solitaire in any way, shape, or form, just as games basically were back at that time. You're going to, again, you're going to negotiate, well, okay, you can have this if I can have that, and of course nothing is binding, so depending on turn order, things might change in unexpected ways. Just as a little history, Bruce Harper posted on Rec Games board that he was looking for playtesters for the new Avalon Hill expansion for Civilization. Well, me and my then boyfriend, actually at that point we were married. Yeah, at that point we were married. Said, heck yeah, that's what we want. We want to be playtesters. So, like I said, we were playtesters. It wasn't that difficult to get, 6, 7 players together to test out all the new rules, This is long. Rec Games board and the internet did have a limited email function, but it's not something that we ever consider doing, quote, online. The testing, because with the new calamities such as the I can't, I'm just sitting here losing, the barbarian horde, for example. They would come through and ravage your area. What was nice though, we changed, okay, in the original game, Civil War could be almost where you couldn't recover from it. To the point where I know my gaming partner would always memorize exactly where it was in the deck. So he would make sure that it didn't affect his position. But we softened Civil War so that having it affect you, yes, it did affect you, but it wasn't, the devastation that you had seen or could see in the previous game. And the other thing that the calamities did is help balance the game and move the trading into being more important than simply combat. So, the Advanced Civ has been, in the 32 years it's been in existence, pretty well received. The World Board Gaming Championship, which is not the same as the World Series, folks, has had a tournament for it every single year since it's been released, and that really is an awesome thing to see. Very few games, hobby games that aren't war games, have lasted 32 years. But the balance, everything has just really endured, past Reiner, past Catan, past Martin Wallace and Brass and Age of Steam, past Alexander Pfister and Great Western Trail. People are still playing this game. I get compliments all the time. In fact, it was really funny. I was trying to, I don't know if you can see it, but I was trying to get Thunder Road Vendetta off of their web shop, and they were, it was like the specific time that they were going to be selling it. And so when the web shop opened, it crashed like crazy, and I started talking to customer support. How am I going to get this game? They're like, look, you were the co-designer of Advanced Civ, and we love that game, so we'll make sure that you get a copy. See, you never know, right? So as far as a review goes, of course, I'm totally biased, and I really love the game. It's just, for me, yes, people say 12 hours, but for me, it doesn't feel like it, because every moment something's happening. I care about what my position is. I care about what my neighbor's position is. I care about what Crete's position is, because they're all over the Mediterranean. And I guess that would be one flaw, though, is that you really want an experienced player, or if you don't have that, because there's 6 of you that are brand new, you want your most experienced competitive player to play Crete. Because if you don't understand, in today's Euro world, being really competitive is kind of passé. But in this game, it just requires it, and it really requires it from Crete. So, I don't know, of course, the graphics are dated now. I mean, the cars are kind of, there's no upgrades, but still, I believe that Advanced Civ may carry on for a few more decades. Well, thank you very much for watching this review. Please have a great day and a great week. Thank you.